Welcome back to the Iraqi Dinar News channel. Let me start with a question. What if I told you that right now? Yes, today in 2025, the Vietnamese dong is being talked about in international banking circles in a way that could change lives. What if holding this currency today could put you in a completely different financial place tomorrow? This is not about rumors or hype. This is about growing signals that something big could be unfolding behind the scenes. So if you're holding Vietnamese dong, or thinking about buying, this video could be the most important thing you watch this year. Stay with us, because we're diving deep into the hidden truth about the Vietnamese dong revaluation and why 2025 might be the year everything changes for currency holders like you. Over the last few months, the topic of the Vietnamese dong has grown from small whispers to loud discussions among serious financial watchers. We're not just talking about people in forums or speculative chat rooms, we're talking about banking insiders, economic advisors, and international policy watchers. The idea that the dong might revalue is no longer a fringe theory. It's being studied, prepared for, and tracked closely. And it makes sense. Vietnam's economy has been growing fast. In fact, it's one of the strongest in Southeast Asia, with trade surpluses, booming exports, and international companies moving operations from China into Vietnam. But here's the mystery. If Vietnam is doing so well, why is its currency still valued so low on the world stage? That question is fueling the speculation. And as we dig deeper, you'll start to see why 2025 could be the turning point. Let's break down the current reality. Right now, $1 equals somewhere between 23,000 to 25,000 Vietnamese dong, depending on daily exchange fluctuation. That's one of the lowest exchange rates in the world. But it doesn't match Vietnam's growing financial power. Countries with strong exports, balanced trade, and foreign investment usually have stronger currencies. So why not Vietnam? Experts believe it's been kept artificially low to help exports and stabilize the economy during rapid growth. But now, as Vietnam modernizes its banking system and integrates with international markets, that low rate might not be sustainable anymore. Analysts are quietly discussing a shift, a revaluation. Some say the rate could go from fractions of a penny to 5 cents, 10 cents, or even more. While nothing is confirmed, the growing financial maturity of Vietnam's economy means a correction could be on the horizon. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Large financial institutions in places like Singapore, Switzerland, and South Korea have reportedly updated their trading systems to account for possible rate shifts in Asian currencies. The Vietnamese dong is one of the currencies getting that attention. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean a revaluation is guaranteed, but it does mean that powerful institutions are preparing just in case. And when those kinds of moves happen quietly in the background, smart investors pay attention. These updates suggest that something is being anticipated. And that's not just speculation, that's strategy. If the dong even moves slightly, say from 0.000004 to 0.1, that's a huge difference for people holding millions of dong. That tiny shift could translate into a serious return. It's not about hitting a jackpot overnight. It's about watching slow, quiet changes that lead to something big. Vietnam's modernization is playing a major role in all of this. Over the past few years, the country has made major upgrades to its financial and digital infrastructure, from advanced banking systems to blockchain use in trade. Vietnam is building the kind of financial ecosystem that can support a stronger currency. Countries don't just wake up one day and revalue their money, they prepare for it. They reform their policies, clean up their books, and set up digital systems that can manage larger capital flows. Vietnam is doing exactly that, and the international community is watching. Investors, analysts, and institutions are seeing all the signs. And now in 2025, the puzzle pieces seem to be aligning. With every new upgrade or digital launch, the chances of a dong revaluation seem to move one step closer to reality. Let's talk numbers, because this is what most dong holders want to know. What kind of revaluation are we talking about? Some conservative analysts say the dong might adjust to a range between 0.05 and 0.1 US. Others believe it could rise even higher over the next 2 to 5 years. And then there are more speculative voices in private circles claiming rates could jump to 47 cents or even more per dong. That might sound unrealistic, but remember, currencies have revalued in the past in ways no one expected. The truth is, even the smallest movement, say from 0.04 to 0.001, could be life-changing for many. If you're holding millions of dong, you do the math, the gain could be significant. So while we never promise outcomes, we do advise you to stay informed, watch the data, and be ready for movement. Now here's something that few are talking about publicly, but many are tracking privately: closed-door meetings between Vietnam's Ministry of Finance and international financial advisors. While these meetings are not broadcasted to the public, there has been a sharp increase in their frequency. Insiders believe the discussions are focused on Vietnam's trade balance, fiscal reforms, and most importantly, currency strategy. These are not one-off meetings, they're part of a bigger picture. Slow, careful coordination with global financial systems. This is often how currency shifts begin: quiet talks, careful moves, and then one day, a change. If Vietnam is coordinating with international institutions and banks, it's likely laying the groundwork for a smoother transition when the revaluation moment arrives. Another major signal is Vietnam's transparency improvement. Over the last few years, the government has pushed reforms to meet international financial reporting standards. This is not easy and not common in many emerging economies, but Vietnam is doing it. These moves make the country more credible in the eyes of global investors. It also prepares them to handle the demands of a stronger currency. The cleaner your books, the more you can invite investment and handle market confidence. That's why this transparency matters so much. It's not just about being honest, it's about being ready. A revaluation is not just an economic event. It's a trust event. The world must trust your data, your policies, your compliance. Vietnam is clearly working on earning that trust, and it could pay off big for them and for those holding their currency. Let's not ignore global politics either. Vietnam's role in Southeast Asia is growing rapidly as tensions rise in the region, especially between major powers like China and the US. Vietnam is becoming more valuable as a neutral economic player. More and more countries are forming trade deals and partnerships with Vietnam. That kind of geopolitical importance often leads to stronger economic policies and eventually a stronger currency. If Vietnam plays its cards right, it could emerge as a central hub in Asia's economic future, and that role may require a stronger. It's not just about economics, it's about influence. And the stronger a nation's currency, the stronger its presence on the global stage. Now, if you're holding dong or planning to, what should you do in 20? First, remain grounded. Don't fall for hype, but also don't ignore signal. Stay up to date on statements from the State Bank of Vietnam. Watch for changes in how banks are handling foreign exchange. Listen for updates from the IMF. Even if they're indirect, these are the signs that matter. Not rumors, not forum guesses, real verifiable shifts. It's about being prepared. You don't want to wake up one morning and find out you missed the window, because when currency changes happen, they often happen fast. Preparation is your best strategy. Some reports are even suggesting that private exchanges may become available to select groups, something that has been discussed in the dinar community as Tier 4B. Whether or not that's true for the dong remains to be seen, but it's wise to know your options. Look into registered exchange centers, check your local laws and tax implications, be ready with documents and identification if needed. Planning ahead could make the difference between a smooth exchange and a missed opportunity. We're not giving financial advice here, we're giving situational awareness, and right now, all signs point to a possible movement. Maybe not tomorrow, but possibly sooner than anyone expected. You also want to be cautious of misinformation. In times like these, Bad actors spread false news and wild promises. Stay away from unrealistic rate claims that promise overnight millions. Remember, even a small adjustment in the dong's rate can be profitable. You don't need a miracle, you just need movement. Stay realistic, but stay alert. The truth is, many people miss out on opportunities not because they were wrong, but because they were unprepared. Don't let that be you. Keep your expectations grounded, but your preparation strong, because in the world of currencies, fortunes are often made quietly. And so what happens if the dong actually revalues this year? First, you'll likely see a shift in Vietnam's economic rankings. Confidence in the country will rise, investment will pour in, and those who were early holders of the currency will benefit the most. There will be stories like we've seen in other revaluations of people who took the risk, stayed patient, and came out with life-changing results. Could that be you? Possibly. The key is timing, patience, and smart action. We're not saying it's guaranteed, we're saying the signs are stronger than ever before. 2025 could be the breakout year for the Vietnamese dong, with economic growth climbing, international relationships deepening, and digital systems in place. Vietnam is no longer a small player, it's a rising star, and rising stars don't stay undervalued forever. While we don't know the exact day or rate, we do know this: change is coming, and those who see the signs before the headlines often come out ahead. Stay alert, stay informed, and above all, stay prepared. Thank you for tuning in to the Iraqi Dinar News channel. We'll continue to monitor the Vietnamese dong, the Iraqi dinar, and all revaluation news as it unfolds. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and share this video with others who are watching this vid. The world of currencies is shifting, and you don't want to be the last to know. Remember, in every great financial change, some panic and some prepare. Which one will you be? See you in the next up.